I'm now going to create a recipe to do some basic housekeeping on the data set. If I wanted to do something more complex, I'd probably be looking at data flow, though I do believe in upcoming release of Einstein Analytics, the distinction between recipes and data flows will be a lot less. So this is recipes loaded. You can see Einstein suggestions working away at the bottom, depending on which type of column you go to and the type of data. It will make different suggestions. It's also just a good way to review what data you've got. It really helps sort of see how many nulls you might have in a column, or if you've got an outlier of data. If you've got a single frequency value, whether it's maybe a misrecord in the data. And it also allows you to make various transformations and see the results live. So I'm going to go through this and tidy it all up a bit. We've got a new image column here from the 4 images that I uploaded and want to be able to use on the dashboards. So I've now done those basic data tidying steps. You can see the actions I've taken over here. There were a couple of address lines that I've concatenated into a single address line. There were some abbreviations where I think it's a bit clearer to use the actual freehold or leasehold rather than F&L. And it's the same with this bucketing. Abbreviations were being used, so I've just used those abbreviations and turned the bucket value into the full name rather than the abbreviation. The other thing I've done here is a split on the postcode to give me the start of the postcode, which is the postcode area, and I'll use this later to match up to an area map and a heaped map. So they're all in place now. If I do create dataset, I then have the choice of fields that I want to use. So where I've made transformations, I've taken out the redundant or duplicate data. One thing to bear in mind when you're creating a recipe, you have the original data set that you started with and then the data set you created. So my original data set had about 100,000 lines. My new data set will have about 100,000 lines. So we're going to have 200,000 lines worth of data sets in Einstein Analytics. That can be important to bear in mind in terms of licensing. So I can see that recipe's been saved successfully. If we go back to Data Manager, we'll see that running again. If we go to Monitor, you can see the recipe's running there. If I refresh it, should hopefully see moving along. We can see the operations it's going through. We can see now the recipe has completed successfully. It took 1 minute and 20 seconds to run, and that's finished. No errors, no problems. If we go and look at our data now, we can see the original data set there, and that was where I was talking about it being 100,000 rows. We've got the new data set that was produced by the recipe, which is also 100,000 rows. So you can see if you're not careful using recipes, you could quickly increase the amount of data in your org.